This is called Straightflex Roll Patch. I love this stuff. It comes in a roll. It used to come in just a package of big squares like this, and I used to buy it all the time. Home Depot carries a product where you peel the paper off. It's got metal and fiberglass on it. You stick it over the hole, and then you mud it all in. Well, I like this stuff. It comes in a roll. It comes in all different sizes. You probably can't see it really well, but if you look, there's some half circles and moons, you know, drawn on here. Here's an electrical box. Here's a double. You know, here's a single. So they have different, so I could cut this out. I could cut out the single patch, and it would easily fit right over this to patch this up just exactly like it should. Now, the reason I like it is because it can patch a big hole like this without drywall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. Let's see, there's still some loose stuff here. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to say, it needs to be about this big. I'm going to cut this piece out. I use just the tin snips to cut it out. And then I'm going to set it in place and say, all right, that's good. And I have a big hole here. So I'm going to cut this piece about here. Let's cut this one about here. And then I will be able to use this to patch up these big holes. It's wonderful stuff. I really like it. I don't know where you're at or where you're looking to get it or anything else. In fact, when they discontinued the big patches, the patches that I was talking about, I was like, oh, what do you mean you don't carry them anymore? I got all upset. That's when the supplier that I use found this stuff and started supplying this stuff. He did say I'm probably about the only one who buys it, but I'm telling you, I love it. I can patch a hole that big without using drywall, and it's hard. You're going to be able to just knock on it. I'll show you. I'll show you. So let me get some Durabond mixed up, and we'll get right back to you. All right, this is Durabond 45. It's upside down because I opened the bottom of it, but it doesn't matter. So this is Durabond 45. I'm going to mix some of this up right now so I can patch all this plaster up that I've been working on. I actually need quite a bit, so I wanted to pretty much try to mix a full bag. So I hoping I put enough, not too much water in there, but enough water. And it's always wise to mix Durabond up and this powder mud up a little heavy and just let it set a second. Not very long. You don't have to let it set very long because they changed the way this stuff mixes. Now, it used to take a while to mix this stuff up. It mixes up really easy now with a lot less lumps. But as an old timer, I still like to let it set for a minute before I break it down. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to let this set. I mixed it up heavy. I want it to set for a second, and then I can just go ahead and break it down just a little bit. I need this mud a little heavy. I can't have this mud that thin for what I'm doing, because if you remember, I have a big hole in the plaster that I have to fill above that window. And if that is too thin, it's just going to roll right out of the hole. But that should be good. That feels good. It feels right. So now I'm going to be showing you a couple of other products. This is not 6. I'm going to be showing you a couple of other products too. I have a product that is called No Coat. There's two products that I like to use made by No Coat. One's just called No Coat, the other one's called Level Line. And No Coat, if you can see it on here, it says No Coat. It comes in a roll. This comes in a big roll. This particular stuff came in a box that was all pre-bent at a 90-degree angle, right? So you can take it, you can use it for a 90, you can straighten it out, you can bend it a little bit, use it for a 120 bead, or you can back score it and stick it in and use it as a 45 angle. So this is what I had to work with here in this house because it was in my truck. So this is what I'm going to be doing most of my corner beads with and my off angles with, is this no coat. So and I've got it bent in 3 different ways. I'm going to be using this as a 90, a 120, and a 45. So let's have some fun. Follow me. This is my first part. Oh, I have another part. Remember I was telling you about the Straightflex rolls? I'll show you because I have to put those in first. These are my Straightflex rolls, the pieces that I cut for these holes. So now what I'm going to do is I mud the back side. I just mud the back side real quick. Flip it over, stick it in place, and wipe it down. And then in 45 minutes, you can come over here and, well, you know what, give it a day. You can come over here and hit it with a hammer. You can hit whatever you want. It's just going to be solid. Is it going to be as hard as drywall? No, it's not. But you don't need it as hard as drywall up there. It's not going to crack. The hole's covered. It will be beautiful. If you have a high traffic spot where people are going to keep hitting the wall and everything else, replace it with drywall. I mean, if you have a big hole in your wall because somebody went through the wall and you think it's going to happen again, don't use this stuff. Use drywall. But if you're just patching holes, light boxes that have been moved, things like that, this is great for somebody who has a light box that they didn't want there anymore. They removed it, but they don't want the hole in the wall. They don't want to just cap it. You can just patch it up with this stuff. I really enjoy this stuff because it works good and it works fast. You know what I'm going to do is I got that little notch right there, so let's fill that in a little bit more. Now, what I'm going to do right away, since I have the 120 bead, since I have the 45 stuff, the no coat all cut, ready to go in, I'll put that in right now because I can put that in right now. It should not be an issue. I just got to mud this up. And if you get tired, you can just fast forward. If you're just watching me mud up, you can just fast forward through it. But I need to back fold this just to make sure it's back folded. But when I put it in, I make sure it's flat because now it'll just form to the angle that's there. If I try to just put that in and wipe it down smooth, when it was creased up, it's just going to pull loose. But since I just straightened it out and did it that way, excuse me, now I can just do that and it's done. And understand, when I go to coat this in, now obviously I have to coat this and I have to coat this because it's different. But when I go to coat this in, I don't have to coat into that angle. I can just coat the edge. That's all I have to do is coat up to that edge. But it's not going to matter right now because I still have one more piece of corner bead to put on here. Again, this is the same product. It's bent in a 90 degree angle, and I'm going to put that right there. So this no coat. It's great stuff. It really is. I really like this stuff. But it doesn't have the same look as regular corner bead does when it's all finished. It just doesn't have the exact same look. So, and if you're trying to match corner bead that's in a house, you don't want to mix and match corner bead. You want it to have the same look. At least I do. You know, most people aren't going to notice, but you know what? I'm going to notice. If I ever come to your house, I'm going to notice it's there. So that's tape. I still have these two things to tape. This is drywall lacquer, this is plaster, but I still don't tape. I really don't tape angles with anything but tape. I like taper's tape. So let me grab a little piece of taper's tape while I do this. So here's some taper's tape, and I was doing some taping on some earlier videos, and I had a comment that there was a front and a back to this. And if you kind of look at it close, you do see this little crease right here. See how this crease goes in right now, and it's kind of sticking out right now. And he told me I put the tape on backwards. But if you really seriously look at this tape, This side is made out of no other materials. Both of these sides are made out of the exact same materials. Now, yes, it creases easier when you crease it on the tape. But if I wanted to tape those angles, I can crease it the other way. It doesn't crease easily that way, but I can definitely take it and crease it the other direction, like that, and tape the mud is going to stick just as well to this side as it is to this side. It really doesn't matter. It's not like the mud's not going to stick to either side of this tape because one's the front and one's the back. That doesn't make any difference. But if you did notice how hard that was to crease and how easy that is to crease, you know, see how easy that was? And when I try to do it the other direction, it does not want to just crease that easily. But you know what? I'm going to do it backwards. So, just to get some comments on my video. And I'm going to tape these angles right here. With Durabond. This is Durabond 45, by the way. It is 45. I only have 45 minutes to it. I do have a lot to do here. So in a minute, I'm going to stop talking and just get to work, because otherwise I can talk longer than it takes for this Durabond to set up. And I want to make sure I get all this job done with this bucket of Durabond that I just mixed up. But there we go. That's taped. The tape was put on backwards, and it's not. I am not going to have a problem with it. It will stay there as long as this house does, I hope. I only needed to get it to stay there for a year because then my warranty's up. But let's get some mudding done. I want to thank you for watching. I hope it's educational. I hope you've learned something. So if you really like what you see, please subscribe.